But I want to have a conversation also about something that's going on in social media and its popularity. And it's about Threads. And I've recently downloaded Threads. And so for those of y'all that follow me on Instagram, follow me on Threads, I guess, too. See, I'm going to be an early adopter this time. Usually I wait. I wait like a year. All right. When Instagram first came out, I waited a long time. I waited like a couple years before I jumped on Instagram. When Twitter came out, I wasn't fucking with it. Right. The only platform that I ever really cared about was YouTube. Right. TikTok, I hate TikTok. Absolutely hate it. But my people and my team said, Anton, you got to have a TikTok profile if you want to continue to grow your channel and you want to continue to grow your visibility in front of the people. You need to have a TikTok. I swear to God, I'm thinking about killing my TikTok. Neither here nor there. But Threads. So, Threads is literally an Instagram light, but I like its UI. It's very beautiful. But let me tell you, one of the things that make Threads so unique is that the reason why it's a competitor, because we've seen a lot of Twitter competitors, right? Actually, my favorite app right now is Twitter, outside of YouTube. But Threads is a very interesting app for those of y'all that haven't signed up for it. If you have an Instagram profile, it automatically ports you over. And Mark Zuckerberg recently launched this app called Threads, and it's basically Twitter, right? Except for you basically porting over all of the people that follow you on Instagram or that you follow on Instagram, and Facebook or Meta has a user base that allows for them to be able to leverage billions of people instead of the close to 250 million people that we see on Twitter. So the conversation is not necessarily whether or not you want to jump on Threads or not. The real conversation that we need to have is this Threads app going to add value into to what it is that they're doing over there on Meta? Should you invest in that company? And then is it actually a Twitter killer? Let me give you a general idea of what Threads is so y'all can know whether or not you want to sign up for it. This is the Threads app. Make sure that you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We got a lot to go through today. Let's get it, y'all.
Here's what Meta's new app Threads looks like. Some are calling it the Twitter killer because of the size of its existing user base. The feed and your profile have a very similar feel to Twitter, with options to like, quote reply, and repost other people's posts. And there's a 500-character limit for posts. It's meant to be more text-focused, rather than how Instagram is primarily for sharing photos. The app was created by Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. Currently, new users can sign up through their Instagram accounts and keep the same username and password. But beware, you can only delete your Threads account by deleting your Instagram account as well, since the two
You can only delete your Threads account by deleting your Instagram account as well, meaning that it's very much a slim chance that you ever delete your Threads account once you sign up for it, because very few people actually get off of Instagram. Even when they get off of Instagram, they may delete the app off of their phone for a couple days, but they come back to it. Their Instagram profile is still active. Y'all out here ghost following. You want to see what people are talking about. And I actually like the app. It's really, really cool because what it allows you to do is see the thread that's attached to whatever it is that you're replying to. So I'll share it with y'all in a minute. Let's continue.
two are tied together. While there have been other Twitter competitors in the past, Instagram already has 2 billion active users, while Twitter, struggling under Elon Musk, has around 250 million, making Threads an immediate competitor. Within the first day, more than 30 million users had already signed up, according to
Over 30 million people within the first day. That is unprecedented. Usually, historically, what has happened with applications is that they've rolled it out and the popularity of it makes it exclusive. So, like, I'll give you an example. During the pandemic, Clubhouse blew up. One of the reasons why Clubhouse blew up is because it was so exclusive and you had to get invited over to the application to even be a part of the club. It was the same strategy that they utilized in order to launch Facebook. It was the same strategy that originally came with MySpace. And so with Facebook specifically, a lot of y'all wasn't familiar around that time. Before Facebook, before MySpace, you had Black Planet, you had Asian Avenue, you had MyGente. Yeah, I'm an OG when it comes to understanding social media applications, right? But the thing about it was that when you got into Facebook, you had to have an Ivy League address to even be able to get into the club. Then you had to have a college address. Then you just started to get invited by people that were already a part of the club, and then eventually they made it, open to everybody. But that's how they got the buzz going. The visibility is that when you show something to be exclusive, everybody wants to be a part of it, right? This is much different in that they leverage their user base, which actually shows you that things are much different than it was in yesteryear. They leverage their user base to get over 30 million people to sign up in the first day. I want to share with y'all a video from a financial perspective of how analysts are looking at this and why Facebook specifically is up over 144% this year. A lot of people were pinning a lot of what they thought was going to happen to Meta and Facebook based off of the metaverse, and that's still going to come based off of what was going on with Oculus. But the unique thing about Mark Zuckerberg, and I would never ever bet against Mark Zuckerberg, is that even though you don't like that he's a nerd, even though you don't like that he do jiu-jitsu, even though you don't like the fact that he married, I believe, an Asian woman, you may not like Facebook, but he's going to give you something that ties you into the ecosystem that allows for him to be able to leverage advertisers to run up the check. And that's the true value of the company, is whether or not these tech companies can grow, not whether or not you like the application. If you don't like, listen, people that like Facebook adore Facebook. They're so addicted. People that are on Facebook are addicted to Facebook. They can't get off of it. And I find Facebook to be pretty useful myself in that if you are a part of a club, right? So let's just say you're a web developer and you want to get into a specific group, or if you don't necessarily like the messiness that go along with them grown ass people on Facebook, you may use Facebook Marketplace in order to sell some furniture, or maybe you are a shoe aficionado and you prefer to go direct to consumer because you make more money going face to face instead of shipping your shoes out or selling them on StockX. Mark Zuckerberg understands, similar to how Apple does it, but completely different, right? Mark Zuckerberg understands offering you a product that eventually gets you into the ecosystem. That's why when y'all post on Instagram, right, or you put a reel up, you then select it and say, yeah, I want this to go over to Facebook too. You know why? Not necessarily because you like Facebook, but because you want more visibility for whatever it is that you're posting. You're trying to get more traction, right? Facebook is a great opportunity for people to be able to zero down on if you're selling a product, or you're opening up a restaurant, or you opening up a brick and mortar, or you're trying to move in your city a little bit differently. They allow for you to be able to advertise within that radius, and they tie in that ecosystem, right? Facebook is connected to Instagram. Instagram is now connected to Threads. And so Mark Zuckerberg, as smart as he is, and people don't give him credit for this, they say he a nerd, he a lame. No, he's wise, he's smart. He understands ecosystems and he understands how to tie in things, and he don't even have to reinvent the wheel. That's the beautiful thing about Mark Zuckerberg, and that's what I like about him. Tim Cook, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, they're innovators. Mark Zuckerberg, he uses leverage. There's a different type of management style, a different type of CEO for every single platform. And leverage is both leveraging the user base that you already have, the 2 billion Instagram users. But you know what leverage also is? Is being able to use your platform to source out different features and functionality to crush your competitors. Want me to give you an example? Snapchat. A lot of the features from Snapchat, when they couldn't buy Snapchat, automatically got imported over into Instagram. TikTok. You've seen stories, you see reels all of a sudden. All of that technology came from other people and other platforms that were doing it more successfully than them, or out-innovated them. And all they did was take their user base and they leveraged their user base in order to create another platform and create another UI that you liked. They're leveraging Twitter. This is not new what they're doing, but then they're leveraging their user base, and you can't not do it because so much of what we're tied to is now based off of what it is that we do on social media. Your visibility, your ability to be able to market yourself, get products out there. If you want to be known, if you're a content creator, you have to participate on these platforms. So I seen some of y'all in the chat, right? And some of y'all in the chat said, nah, I'm not jumping on Threads. You a lie. All you gonna do is prolong the inevitable. I'm not jumping on Threads. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're coming over to the front of the congregation, and so sitting there playing games instead of embracing the technology, because people that don't innovate and people that don't think that the technology is going to affect them, eventually they fall behind. you're going to have to embrace it too, especially if you're some form of a content creator.
Shares of Meta hitting a 52-week high earlier today after the company launched its new Twitter competitor Threads. Josh, you own Meta. What's your take?
I'm not currently long Meta, but I'm just blown away at how quickly they got adoption for this thing.
And let me also, again, full disclosure, I am an investor in Meta, right? So even though I'm giving you my objective view of how it is that he's leveraging his platforms, I want you to understand that I've long been long. And as a matter of fact, I've been continuously pouring money into my possession and my position in Meta for the last 2 years. And I've been saying this for a long time. This is not a secret. And they've made me a ton of money. I mean, an egregious amount of money. Meta has made me a ton of money.
And it started last night. I was one of the first, I think, 300,000 accounts on there. And from what I hear, they're already through 30 or 40 million users. When you consider that the user base is 2 billion, I guess it's not that surprising. But the speed here is just absolutely breathtaking. I think that's a function of two things. The first is people are looking to have that old Twitter experience back from 2016, 17, 18, 19. They're not going to get it on existing Twitter. And so that's why you're seeing that play out with the speed with which this user base is growing. But the other startling thing, though, is that Facebook could have done this any time. Like, they could have done this really 10 years ago. It was ingenious to build this based on the Instagram social graph and just let people who are already there have a different app, but bring over their friends, not have to start from zero with a new identity. I can't believe they could have done this all along, and they haven't. Maybe the opportunity was created by all of the chaos on the existing Bird app, the Hell site that is now. And it feels like I started on Twitter in March of 2009. It feels like 2009. Like, everyone's excited. My phone is set on alerts. It's buzzing every second. Thousands of followers overnight. It's like, it's really cool to see everybody back together again. Nobody's blocked. Nobody's haters are on there. The pseudonyms haven't shown up yet. The crypto scam. So it's like it's a new era.
Let me tell you one of the reasons why I am skeptical about it. And I'm not leaving Twitter. I'm very, very careful about the idea that, and I don't need to have him on my screen anymore. I'm very, very careful. I'm about to read Super Chat shortly. I'm very careful about having too much social media because I think that you have to do everything uniquely to that platform. So the same things that you see on YouTube is not the same things that I place on Instagram. It's not the same things that I talk about on Twitter. So that's A. B, I'm very, very leery about censorship, right? One of the reasons why I hate TikTok is that, number one, I can do the same thing on Instagram that I do on TikTok. But then number two, the censorship on TikTok is amazing. I don't even be having no cuss words on my reels, and they just be dropped. They just be censorship. And so that's another thing. And then B, I think that one of the things that makes Threads pretty awesome is that it's not as difficult for you to have to scale up from scratch. And when people have to build up a following and they have to build up some kind of interaction with people from scratch, I think it makes it a lot more difficult for other people to then rock out with them. So I do like Threads. I think that they're going to thrive. I think that they're going to be phenomenal. One of the things that I'm going to be paying attention to is how it affects Twitter. Because I know Elon Musk always wants to compete, but one of the things that Elon Musk had got into it with Mark Zuckerberg, and he actually threatened to sue Mark Zuckerberg as a result of releasing Threads and basically stealing the whole vibe of what Twitter is doing, even to the point to where they talked about fighting and getting into a cage match with each other. But I'm going to keep an eye on everything. I did want to bring y'all into that conversation to help y'all understand how it is that I've seen Threads.